Enjoyed that little clip that we put together. We actually did that video for GANDYS London recently, and today in this video we're just going to go through a little bit of how we put it together and show you some behind the scenes footage. Fun!
So the slogan that GANDYS uses is "Don't just exist," and when we were planning this video out we obviously had that in mind, and we thought what kind of would represent that in a video. Obviously that hiking, mountains, exploring, that kind of stuff, yeah, was what we had in mind.
That's actually a very important point. If you're doing a video like this, you have to try and think of what the brand represents, you know, what's the brand message or the brand ethos, and you have to kind of tailor your video towards that. So that's kind of what we had in mind. We were thinking like a casual, maybe mountain morning stroll of some kind, and that was the underlying theme of the video. So as we always do, we like to plan these videos out with shot lists. So we got together, not that we were ever apart, we sat down and we had a little think about what kind of shots we wanted in this video. We had to think very carefully about where we were going to be, the locations and stuff, things that had to be included, like shots of the jacket that were very important. So we wrote down a shot list, as we always do. Looking back though, we would have liked to have planned that in a little bit more detail.
It was slightly different. So if you've seen our previous commercial video we did for another backpack, you'll know that we did a lot of like whoosh transitions, and we pretty much planned out every shot, and we had like, we kind of kept with the same, the very similar transitions throughout, and we had quite a fast pace.
Yeah.
With this one, we knew we wanted to slow it down quite a bit, or at least at the start. So yeah, completely different vibe, and looking back, we would have done things slightly different.
I mean, we had the outline pretty much figured out, but the small minor details, they needed to be drilled in a little bit more. That's where we started, and of course we went on to Epidemic and got ourselves a good vibey song for this one.
The song was kind of the first thing that we chose.
Yeah.
And then,
That's right, actually. The song comes first.
The song comes first. For us, not everyone, but we feel like when we choose the song, or at least me anyway, I can kind of envision the video, and things start to come to me as I listen to the song, which helps a lot.
So before we get into the actual video shots that we did, let's just talk about those morning conditions that we woke up to that day.
Oh, look. It is cold, but it looks good. Look at all this. This audio may sound terrible, but we're in the middle of making the little commercial video here for GANDYS. So
we're out shooting a little video today, and it's extremely early. We actually caught sunrise for a change. It's like 8 now, probably 8 a.m.
Alright, let's get the shot.
It was
couldn't have been better.
Such a nice morning. We got to our first location, and there was just this like line of mist that went across the water. It was a beautiful, like the sun was just rising, and of course we had to take photos.
We did. We got a few photos. Ideally, we would have liked to spend the whole morning just taking photos, but we were in quite a rush, so we didn't really have time to take a lot of photos. We just kind of snapped a few because it just looked too good. I
mean, really, we shouldn't have been taking any photos because that day was dedicated to videoing. We pushed it a little bit. But we just couldn't help ourselves. We had to take a couple. But anyway, yeah, really cool morning. It was really nice.
More early mornings to come. We're trying to fit it into the routine. Okay, so when we started the video, we knew obviously we wanted to show the GANDYS jacket pretty early on, and the bag if possible. So we done the little zip shot at the start, kind of because we really liked the zip shot that we done in the previous
Yeah,
video. We
that's
thought
true.
just with the sound effect and all, it just
always
works.
sounds good.
So we done the little transition with the zip, kept it all in just 24 frames a second. We filmed this in 4K, or all the 24 stuff was in 4K.
Yeah.
Just to keep everything looking as good as possible. And we done just a little whoosh transition at the top, which is literally me following the zip, and then once we get to the top, I just flick the camera up. I don't think we had the SJ cam on at this point, so
no, that's
I don't have any footage to show that. But yeah, get to the top, flick up, and then the following shot will be flicking from the bottom up into the shot that you're focusing on, which was actually Christina tying the laces of her boot. You had the shot of you walking over the little, I don't know what you call it, it's just a step like over a fence.
Fence step.
Something like that. We had this shot of you walking, and there's a little logo on the GANDYS jacket that we were kind of trying to show off. Didn't work perfectly because of the kind of speed of the shot. It was a little trickier to get. You can kind of see it.
We actually did that shot so many times.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Nope. No, don't hold your hand out like that. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but we got it in the end.
It looks ridiculous. These are filmed all in, mainly all in manual focus, these type of shots, because you're kind of, well, I mean, this one was quite slow, but we're keeping it in manual focus so we can kind of make sure that when it gets to the point that needs to be in focus, that it is, and there's no like searching for focus. This camera's quite good at it, but some cameras do search a little bit, and you don't want that in your footage, kind of blurring. And we followed Christina's hand, she put it down, and then the idea was to use the like wood of the fence to kind of transition to the next shot, which was her feet walking down the steps. And with the previous carry-on bag video, we actually done a similar shot with the tree, panned past one tree and then like from another tree out, and it looks like Christina just kind of walks past the tree. But there's a little cross dissolve from Premiere, which is a pretty basic little transition you can just drag in.
Fantastic.
And if you make it extremely short and make sure that the end of one clip and the start of the other is just completely covered by the wood of the fence, the transition kind of like blends it together.
It does exactly what it says it does. It cross dissolves those two clips together, and you don't even notice that they were different. One of the next shots with Christina walking past the camera, I felt was a little bit boring. It looked a little bit staged at the start because, I don't know, just the flow of it. So I didn't want to just end with just nothing there. Christina walked past. I thought it might be nice to like do a mask and incorporate the other clip in behind it. So as Christina walks past, it reveals the next clip, which is, well, it's called a mask of some sort. It is just a mask transition, that's what it's called. But yeah, we will do a video explaining in detail a bit more how to do that shot specifically, because it's kind of cool, and I would say a lot of you guys noticed it and would probably like to know how to do it if you don't already. So then we made our way down towards the water, which was at the location we were at, and again, we stopped to take some more pictures. Probably shouldn't have done that.
Sun was rising fast.
It was. You're on a battle against time when you're doing stuff in sunrise, because once the sun comes up, then it's going to be really, really hot.
It's really, the difference is completely night and day. It looks so much better when the sun is just rising, or not even rising, there's just a glow coming over the hills. We
were trying to get a photo for a long time of me, like a portrait style photo, and I could not keep my eyes open. Very, very sensitive eyes, so we wanted to get the light on my face, but I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I'll show you the footage.
Oh, if you could look even straight. For 2 seconds. Stay right where you are and literally just open them, even if you look down.
They're literally watering like fuck.
Look down and do it again. Do it again. That's why he's coming. Do it again. Look down. Just look at the grass right below. So yeah, we snapped one. I don't know if we're going to use it or not.
I'm not sure.
I kind of wanted Christina to look more into the light, so there was no harsh shadows, but
it didn't turn out too well. I can't see.
So then there was just a few kind of walking shots as if Christina was walking down a path, and I got this one just past the like kind of high grass and just kind of panned along it, and Christina was walking in the distance. Had to use a little bit of warp stabilizer on it, which kind of done the trick. And then we made our way down towards some rocks, and we wanted to make it look like Christina was hiking like at least up a mountain or something that didn't just look like just walking along a path.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was some rocks down towards the water, and I kind of angled the camera quite low to make it look like Christina was climbing up a lot more than she actually was.
They didn't turn out exactly how we wanted them to. I wish they were a little longer.
Yeah, it was kind of tricky because it's such a small area, and we had to shoot it quite tight to kind of cover the fact that it wasn't actually going up a mountain.
Climbing up a mountain.
Yeah, so kind of past the rocks and stuff, and it was a very tight shot that was kind of used more to emphasize the fact she was on a hike and just lead into the next shots, which were actually towards a mountain more so.
Yeah, and you can see the difference in the two shots from the water shots on. You can see the difference in the lighting because the sun was completely up by this stage and we were getting some harsh light.
A little bit annoying, and that also caused some problems with the shutter speed, because that shot coming out from the rock is a lot higher than we would have liked it to be. Did I shoot that on 120? Or was it 60? I think it's
yeah, because I'm in slow-mo. We did a speed ramp of the...
Yeah, so it's shot in 120 and the frame rate would normally then be like 250, but I believe it's quite a bit higher because it was so bright. And we forgot our ND filter.
So the shot of walking across the water was of course in 120, but we did a little speed ramp, so we sped it up and then slowed it down. And we did that because the sound effects sound so good when you're walking across water. And you can't really do that in the slow-mo part as much. So we wanted a good like...
Yeah, a good few fast steps in the water with the sound effect, and then slows down just for a little bit of, just to add a nice bit of slow-mo in. And then we followed up with a few shots of Christina way in the distance.
Yeah.
Past some more tall grass sort of stuff again. Just keep walking a wee bit. A bit more. Just to give the scale, because the mountain was actually pretty big and Christina looks quite small in the distance. Just a big mountain behind her. Added in some sound effects in there too. There's actually sound effects in the whole video, which maybe we should get onto.
Yeah, actually maybe we should.
And then the last few shots were just Christina kind of sitting on a rock quite high up in the mountains, and then the last shot was just like kind of a zoom out, just
and we knew we would want to have the logos on screen at that point, so we had to have it like a nice wide shot to be able to do that. Another thing to note is that we did know beforehand that we wanted this video to be no longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So like we had to think about that as well when we were doing the shots. We actually had to leave a lot of shots out because we were trying to condense it down to 30 seconds.
Yeah, so, ideally this last shot would have been done with a gimbal, but our camera's too heavy for the gimbal we have. So yeah, we need another camera that could have done it. Like I could have moved a lot further and it would have been more dramatic looking.
Yeah.
And it was also very bright at that stage, so could have looked a bit better. But anyway, sound effects. Quite a few of them added into this one, and like we did last time, we'll let you listen to, or watch and listen to, the video with just the sound effects, no music.
And that just goes to show you how important sound effects are in your cinematic videos.
There's a lot more to sound design with videos than you would probably think.
It has to be prominent, but also subtle.
Yeah. The crow noise is just one that I really liked, and I had to turn the volume down quite a bit. I think I put a low pass on it. I put a low pass on a lot of filters to kind of just tone it down a little bit and sound like it's maybe coming from the distance rather than just a big obvious sound effect added in. The water one, I think I got pretty spot on when you walked across the water. That was a little bit tricky because it's harder to find like someone stepping in water that sounds
exactly what you're looking at.
Would sound. Yeah, exactly. What other ones did we use? I mean, right from the start, we used a little bit of a wind noise, which is just a like.
There's birds in there.
The zip, the footsteps, just kind of undertones and stuff that you would kind of expect if you were walking up a mountain or across a stream and stuff. Just little ambient sounds that kind of go well with the music throughout the video. As for the color grade in this video, not really a whole lot done. Went through all the clips, color corrected them, make sure the white balance looked the same as we do with every video, and then just kind of use like the preset that we've kind of created, which kind of gives a little bit of a warmer kind of look. Again, obviously looked better in the earlier shots than the later ones, as any kind of adjustments to the colors would have. But yeah, not a lot done to it. Still learning a lot about color grading. It's a tricky process. But that's pretty much it. We just wanted to run through everything we done and show you guys the little things that we used in this video and just how we planned it, how we put it together, and some of the little tricks and stuff that we did in there to just enhance it a little bit. Yeah,
it's always good to see the behind the scenes so that maybe it can help you whenever you're doing your next cinematic video. Yeah,
we enjoy watching other people doing this exact same thing and seeing how they do stuff, and it's just enjoyable to watch and see how they do it. So hopefully you guys enjoy watching how we do it.
If there's anything that you want to know that we didn't cover in this video, do drop it down in the comments below. We'll be sure to answer any questions that you have. But I think we pretty much covered everything that we went through to put that video together.
And yeah, like I said, I think we will probably do a quick little tutorial on how we did the masking shot. And that's kind of the only one that was a little bit different than previous shots.
Because we do already have a video on how to do speed ramp transitions. So if you're interested in learning about that, then you can check out that video.
It'll be on screen somewhere here in a few seconds. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one, guys. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as we always say, take it easy.
Don't be a stranger.
That's that. Want to do something else?
No.